as you can tell, we're in a different setting. So this is not my small little kitchen. This is my mom's very nice kitchen. So my mom is joining me today. Hey, Mom.
Hi, everybody.
So she is going to help me make what I consider to be the highlight of a Thanksgiving dinner, and that is cornbread dressing. So let me show you what we need for it. So we need a big bowl, a spoon, cornbread. Now this cornbread you can make, I would actually suggest that you make 2 or 3 days ahead of time. Find a cornbread mix, not sweet. Very important. Do not make the sweet kind. And just follow the instructions on the back of the package. It comes out good every time. For a little different texture, this is just sandwich bread. Day-old sandwich bread. Doesn't have to be fresh. The stuff that you usually throw away. We've got poultry seasoning, salt and pepper. So not a lot going on there. A couple of eggs. The secret ingredient, butter, because everything's better with butter. Celery, onions. This is about a medium sweet to yellow onion. And about 4 or 5 stalks of celery. I've got a good amount of chicken broth, and then you need a pan, a saucepan, and of course some casserole dishes. So today I'm going to make this casserole dish to take to a function tomorrow, and then we will eat this one when we get done. And I've preheated the oven to 350 degrees. We've got a few more things that we need to prep. I'm going to saute the veggies in about a half a stick of butter. I'm going to melt the rest of the butter. Then I'm going to put some chicken broth, probably an entire container, on to warm, while my mom over here is going to break up about 2/3 of that pound of cornbread into the bowl, and we're going to get everything prepped, and we'll see you back in a minute. All right, so now we're ready to assemble our dressing. Now we ended up actually putting in that entire pound of cornbread in there, so that's what it looks like.
Really fine.
Break it really fine, and like my mama is saying, use your hands. So make sure your hands are clean. We are going to put some of this bread in here. So now this is more of a method instead of a recipe. There's not an exact science here, and she's going to break it up even more because. All right, and then I'm going to add our sauteed veggies. Now these are very lightly sauteed, so I just get them kind of soft. You still want a little bit of that crunch in there, and let me scrape this a little bit. You still want the crunch. You still want the, know that they're in there. And again, if you're not a fan of that, use onion powder or celery flakes or anything like that. All right, so we'll go ahead and maybe give that a good stir here. Now we can add more of our bread as we go. Oh, there's a big piece. She's gonna break that up. So, and then you do need a couple of eggs. So before we put the really, really hot liquid in there, we're gonna add a couple of eggs. Now, this recipe is pretty much handed down from my mama and granny, so my grandmothers. This is how they made their cornbread dressing, and I remember when I was, especially a teenager, me and my mom, it was a big deal. So we've been making this dressing for a long time. So I just learned the method from her, she learned it from her mama, and kind of a legacy recipe that I enjoy. Just it's fun to do, and so it makes it kind of special to have feel like that our loved ones are still with us, and there we go. All right, now we are going to make this look like soup. It's going to not look as appetizing as it will when we cook it.
It needs to be soupy.
It needs to be soupy, yeah. So it needs to be soupy. So I'm going to go ahead and ladle in some of this chicken broth. So we are going to slightly cook the eggs, obviously. So ladle it in. Go ahead and give that a good stir. I'm going to also go ahead and put this butter in there. And you just kind of stir it as you go. That butter. All right, and so like I said, this has got to be soupy. So as my mom's stirring it around. Oh, overboard. All right, you know what? I think I'm just gonna pour it straight from the pan. All right, let's see how that goes. All right, as she's doing that, I'm gonna add in a good amount of poultry seasoning. So, poultry seasoning has got a lot of stuff in it. You can read the back of the thing. Thyme, sage, marjoram, rosemary, black pepper, nutmeg. So it's got a lot of that in there. If you like your dressing to have more sage or more whatever, put that specific thing in there. I really like the poultry seasoning. It adds just a good combination of all that. You also, of course, need a good amount of salt and pepper. This is going to be a lot. So you make sure you put a good amount of salt and pepper. And it's not soup yet, so we're going to add probably the rest of this that I have. If you need more, that's why we've got 3 cartons of it. I warmed up a little bit more chicken broth, but my mom has a great tip.
If you're cooking a turkey on Thanksgiving Day, you most certainly can use the turkey broth, the turkey drippings.
Yeah, and that'll add a little different flavor, and so that's always good too. You can, as you can tell, it's getting to the soupy level. So again, you are gonna think that it is too soupy and too wet. It almost can't be too soupy and too wet. So, all right, we'll get that. Maybe just a pinch more, and then we're gonna taste it and see if we need some seasonings to it. So, now again, we did put raw eggs in here. We did put some warmed liquid, but if you can't have raw eggs, don't do this. All right, let's see. Needs some more seasoning, doesn't it? Yeah. So again, taste it. See if it tastes.
More salt too.
Yeah, salt, pepper. It needs just a whole nother time. So I'm gonna put a good portion more back of our poultry seasoning here. Some salt, pepper, and you know, Mama, this is about when Daddy shows up, isn't it? My dad thinks that he is the official taste tester of dressing, so have a visit from him soon. Got it about soupy.
You ready for me to taste test?
Like I said, that's my dad. Come on. So here's my dad, who always shows up about
It's
this
my
time.
favorite part, let me tell you.
He considers himself the official taste tester. So
Very
taste
much
it.
so.
I think we've got it about right here. So see
Okay.
what you think.
All right, let's see. It's pretty good.
Yeah, you think it needs salt, pepper?
A little bit of salt.
A little bit of salt.
Just a little
Okay.
bit of salt.
So again, we kind of just. All right, a little salt. Give it another good stir. All right, get you another spoon in
Different
there. All right, go for it.
That's it.
All right, we get the official thumbs up. All right, so now we're just gonna plate it up, put it in the oven, and about, what do you think, Mom? 30 minutes or so?
30 to 40
30
minutes.
to 40 minutes. We'll see what it looks like. All right, yum yum. Now, this is ready. It's been about 37-ish minutes. So let's look at it. So I looked at it a couple of times already, but this is what the final product should look like. You'd still want it to be not 100% set in the middle. So you see how it is moist in the middle? Moist in the middle. The edges are nice and brown. So yummy. Can't wait to taste. I'll let it cool and set for just a minute. And then I'm going to take a bite. If I can get it out. Look at that. Now, you want it to be moist. So you want it to be still very, very moist in there. I'm going to put a little gravy on that. See my short on how to make a lumpless gravy. And here we go. Yum, yum, yum. So good. so good. Anyway. All right, well, I'm going to enjoy this, and I'll see you all later.